Hello everyone, and welcome to the Brickformula review of LEGO set 5767 Cool Cruiser. It has 556 pieces for ages 8 to 12, and it's from the Creator Series, and this set retails for $39.99. And I would like to give a shout out to Chubby Cheek Charles, Mr. Goalie 23, Rap Battles for Life, and the Kevin Eric John. They are the subscribers who had requested that I review this set. So everyone, check out their channels. And moving forward, here in the front we see the Cool Cruiser when it still has the brand new car smell. And down here we can see that it can rebuild into a racing car or a telehandler. And here on the side we have the parts, and you'll see them again towards the end of the video. And here in the back we see some of the playable features on two of the models. And it looks like a pretty interesting set. So I'll talk about this in more detail coming up. For starters, you look in this instruction book, you can see that the Cool Cruiser is the advanced build, the racing car is the medium build, and the telehandler is the quick build. And you also notice that there are no minifigures in this set either. So I guess we'll just start off with the car, and here we go. First we'll take a look at the advanced build, which is the Cool Cruiser. And this thing definitely lives up to its name because it does look really cool. And here's the view from the side. And I would say that this is in the same scale as the Creator Off-Roader from 2010. There's the bottom. And we have two slide shoes, which I cannot figure out why they put them there, but I guess it's just for looks. And if you notice, with the front there, the wheels do not turn very sharp because they have these red dots there to prevent it from doing that. So if you want to make it turn sharper, just remove those and you'll do just fine. There's a view from the back, and that looks really cool looking. Check that out. And in the back here we have the knob that will help you turn the front wheels, giving a whole new meaning to backseat driving. And there is the top. There's the front, and you can pop open the hood, and there's the view of the engine, which is pretty sweet and simple. And for the most part, I really love this design, even though it's not totally perfect. And it uses 94% of the parts, so here's what you have left. Now, for those of you who are wondering if you can fit a minifigure in there, I would say yes, of course you can, because obviously this is built way over minifigure scale. So we'll just take a random minifig this time around, because I don't really want to spoil my Baywatch babe with a new car, you know what I mean? So we'll take this guy, who happens to be young, single, rich, and handsome. Wait. No, I take that back, just single and rich, not handsome, and not that young either, I'm guessing. Funny how those four attributes rarely exist together. Anyway, we'll just open this door. And here's the view from the side again. This we can see what it looks like with the door open. And we'll just slide him in here behind the wheel. It looks like a kid is driving this thing. And we'll just close the door. Now here's one of the little design flaws of this model. You notice that the side view mirror just went way over that way, so you have to adjust that every time you open the door. And then you get a closer look at yourself and see which look can kill. And if you don't like what you see, you always check yourself out in the rear view mirror for a second opinion. And maybe pick your teeth while you're at it. But anyway, here's a closer look at the dashboard. You can see he's going about 82 miles an hour. Not bad. And overall looks pretty good. And here's the view from the front with the minifig inside. I like how his head is barely peeping over the hood. Looks kind of funny. Anyway, on to the next build. Here's the racing car. And it looks like we have another good looking model. Here's the view from the side. And I especially love the way they made this part right there. It looks really smooth and it looks really good. Nice job. And there's the bottom, and as you can see this time around, they did not add those red dots right there, so now you can turn a little more sharper. And speaking of turning, here's the view from the top, and the way you control the steering is through the steering wheel, which would make a lot of sense, although honestly it's not very ideal, because I do find it to be quite a bit of work just to turn the wheels all the way. And if you're running this across the floor, and if you run over something, the wheels will turn on their own, and then you gotta adjust it from here. For once, I actually prefer the knob in the back, but I guess it's all up to you. And here's the view from the back. And it's actually pretty tall. In fact, this thing is almost the same size as the Ultimate Build Francesco from Cars 2, although this one is a little bit longer and maybe a little bit taller, not by much. But it's definitely the same scale. It's got the same width, and there it is from the front. It's pretty cool. And it also uses about 60% of the parts, so here's what's left. And now to show you guys what this model looks like with a minifigure inside. But before I do that, here's a closer look at the seat. We got about 6 studs available, but really you can just attach the minifigure to the first 4. And he fits in just nicely, and he looks pretty comfortable in there too. Of course it looks pretty small, but that's besides the point. And you can check yourself out in the mirrors on the sides there. And there we have it. We now have a driver who can go up against Francesco, although good luck, because Francesco is pretty fast. And you'll definitely have to go faster than that. Anyway, let's check out the next build. And finally, we have the telehandler, which is the quick build. And while this is the slowest vehicle out of the three, I still find this one to be pretty useful, especially for my purposes, and I'll explain later. For now, let's check it out. And here it is from the side. And you can fit a minifigure in there, although there is a small catch. First, you can open this door, and as you can see, we got a seat there, and there's a steering wheel. Now, when the minifigure is sitting in there, he doesn't really fit because you have one too many plates over here, so just remove these and he'll fit in there. Or you can just take the chair out, just like that, and you can have him standing. So that works just fine. Here's the view from the back, and the taillights can kind of move around. You can close it up like that, or just leave it like this. Doesn't really matter. And here's the view from the other side, and over here, this part can open up, and the knob kind of blocks it, so you just got to lift it up a little bit, and you can open this all the way, and now you can see the engine. Or if you want to get creative, you can just stick some missiles in there. Might be fun. And here's the view from the front, and this can go way up, about that much. I'll show more of that later. And here's the view from the top, and there's the bottom. And this is a pretty small model. It uses about 55% of the parts, so here's what you have left. And now to show you guys the features with the crane. Now first you get to build this little pallet, which is almost like a little platform. Okay, and there it is all around. And you can slide the crane into it, just like that, and it holds it just fine, even though it will slide a little bit. And this is the lowest setting that you have for the crane, and the next one is actually about that tall, which is a huge jump. And the reason why is because if you look down here, this stick doesn't really go into that hole that you see there. It just goes into the teeth, which is way over there. And there are 6 different settings, including the first one. So there's the first one, and that's the next one. And you can still bring this down to level it up a little bit. Here's the next setting, which is a little bit higher. We got one more, another, and this one should be the last. And there we go. Now this is pretty useful for me because with a little bit of modification, I now have a way to load my pilots into the mechs. Here's what I mean. Take, for example, my Goliath. There he is. I haven't seen this guy in a while. And look at that. It's just right. It just didn't seem practical to use a ladder because, I don't know, it just doesn't seem very cool. This is so much better. It's more efficient, and you can load other things in there too. So we'll just open the cockpit up. There we go. See? How nice is that? And now we can move on to the recommendations. Overall, this is a really, really good set. When it comes to the value, we're looking at 7 cents for the price per piece ratio, which is excellent. And according to BrickLink, we have about $80 worth of parts, and that's based off the current market value for new bricks. And if you were to sell this as used parts, it still comes out to a total of $53. So in both cases, we're above the retail value of $40. So obviously, this is a really good deal. And when it comes to the play value, I think the Cool Cruiser is a great model. And I think it could even be better if you can modify it with power functions, which I think you can totally do on your own spare time. And when it comes to the racing car, that's actually my least favorite model, but you can still have fun with that if you're into that. And for the telehandler, with some modifications, you can definitely go a long way with it too. So in the end, I think this is a really cool set, and you'll definitely have a lot of fun with it, and I totally recommend getting it. And that sums up my review. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.